Hey beautiful selfish babe, it is your girl OlanikeeOsi bringing you another Selfish Babe Selfish Talk Podcast. I just woke up from a fucking wonderful nap. It's a Sunday. I believe today's August 4th. So I woke up from a wonderful nap. It's August 4th and I really had to say this because it was on my mind to say. So I wanted to record this video, which is why I'm in bed right now. So anyways, my thought that I had was, are we who we really say we are, right? So I was having a conversation today and we were talking about change and we were talking about who are we, right? And the thought that I had yesterday that I was telling her was like, you know, if I'm a person that loves the color black and I love wearing black, does it really mean that I love the color black? Or am I comfortable with just wearing all black because that's what I think that I like? So I'm gonna break this down. So let's say that person that enjoys wearing black for her whole life all the time said that I love wearing black because I love black. But has she ever tried to wear red? Has she ever tried to wear pink? Has she ever tried to wear blue? I think that we label ourselves for one specific thing, and then we like to be consistent with that one specific thing for a very long time. Another example that may make way more sense. For a long time, I hated ketchup. When I was a kid, I hated ketchup. I don't know why. I just did not like it. And I don't think I like pickles either. And so anytime I got a burger, I would say no ketchup and no pickles. And so I would say that for a very long time. And I didn't really eat it like that. I just didn't like it. And so one day when I was older, I was like, well, let me try, some ketchup on the side with these fries. I tried it one day and I absolutely loved it. Now, do I get ketchup on my fries to this day? No, I don't. But I'm no longer a person that says, oh, no ketchup on my burger. I love pickles. Sometimes I'll get sandwiches with full, long pickles. But back in the day, I'd be like, oh, no, I don't like that. So if I were to say, hey, Olanike is a person that doesn't like pickles and ketchup, that's probably how I'm going to be in life, right? I'm a person that doesn't like pickle and ketchup, so I'm going to try to be consistent with that daily. But sometimes I think that I know we can change ourselves. One thing that I've been learning is that change is what's consistent. That's just what it is. We can evolve, we can change. And even in my conversation with who I was talking to today at a Thai restaurant, we were talking about this. She had mentioned wanting to live in 7 countries for at least a year, because for her, it expands her and it challenges her. Because it's like we gave the example of, if I grew up in Georgia and I'm going to live in Georgia for the rest of my life, I really have no idea how I would be if I was a person living in Japan. I really have no idea how I would be a person living in Paris. But let's say that I was a person in Georgia and I lived in Georgia for 10 years and I said, this is who I am. But then I decided to move to Paris. This is who I am that I said I was in Georgia may change to this is who I am now after I've lived in Paris. What I'm saying is that change is very consistent. What I'm saying is that you can totally reinvent yourself. What I'm saying is that it's totally fine to be the person that loves to wear black, right? But maybe the person that loves to wear black, maybe one day she decides to wear red and pink. And before, she was never a girly girl. But now, in the last 2 years of her life, she sees herself being a girly girl and loving pink. I never used to be a person of pink. I did not like pink like that. But pink is one of my favorite colors today, right? And so the thought that was on my mind is that we literally can change ourselves. Now, my question I'm asking is, does that mean the core of us really changes, right? Our spirit, like the core ideals or morals that we have, does that change too? I don't have an answer for you. I can't say that no, if you have these morals that will never change, because honestly, that may change. And so all I know is that change is literally what is consistent. And I thought about me, right? So as many of you know, my spiritual name is Olanike. And usually if my friends, my intimate friends and family know me as Vanessa because that's my birth name. But on social media and all other platforms, I go by OlanikeeOsi or OlanikeeOsi Bawale because that was a spiritual name that I was given. And I find myself more and more being open to using that more, even in my interactions with people that I may meet as new friends. Yesterday, I did a pitch competition for XO Nicole, and I won. And when I went on stage, I introduced myself as OlanikeeOsi. And it wasn't until after I won that I had thought about that. And I was actually really proud of myself for that because I'm like, that's who I am right now. I'm OlanikeeOsi. And even when I'm sitting in bed right now, what I'm thinking about is, well, what does OlanikeeOsi like to do? How does she work? How does she manage her team? Does she manage her team? How does she dress? What is she like? Again, change, reinvention. I could be a person that have been for my whole life have said, I'm not super organized. That just doesn't work for me. But OlanikeeOsi may be super organized. Why? Because she knows she needs to run a business and she knows she needs to get shit done. I could be like, oh, I don't set goals for the beginning of the month because that's just not me, right? I could say that and I can be comfortable in saying that and doing just that and not setting goals for the month. Not saying that I'm lazy, not saying that I'm not going to get things done, but I may not be as clear about what I'm getting done and actually seeing real change happen in my life, right? I can just settle and be comfortable in that. But instead I can be like, well, OlanikeeOsi does set goals for the beginning of the month because she knows she wants to hit certain goals and she wants to see certain things happening for herself, right? I can totally say that because as much as I can say, oh, I'm not super organized, am I really not super organized or am I just comfortable in being that person? Am I comfortable in that's just who I am, right? That's just who I am. Am I just comfortable in that? Or am I ready to challenge myself to grow into something else? Am I ready to challenge myself to mold myself into something new? Am I ready to challenge myself to really elevate? Because really the point of our conversation was that we are people that change. We are people that mold ourselves into something new. We are people that can transform. It's like a Pokemon. If you ever watched the Pokemon, right? Let me think of like one, maybe Charmander, like the fire Pokemon. I think he starts off as Charizard or Charmander, one of them. He's a little Pokemon in stage 1, but then as he fights and grows in new levels, he begins to transform into another Pokemon with even greater power. Then he transforms again into another Pokemon with greater power. And usually those bigger Pokemon are harder to catch because they've had all this experience and transformation in their life. So my message to you, Selfish Babe, is that change is inevitable. So I'm saying don't just be comfortable in knowing who you are right now. You could be a lot more than who you are right now. Don't just be comfortable with living in Georgia for the rest of your life. Don't just be comfortable with only traveling in the United States of America. Don't just be comfortable in only liking ketchup or hating pickles because you never know. That may literally change tomorrow. That can change in the next hour. Have you actually challenged yourself to say, hey, I'm actually going to see, maybe this is different. Maybe I can do things a little differently, right? I could be the person that's like, oh no, I don't really like to work out. I don't really care to do that. I can say that, but then the next day I can be in the gym and I can be in the gym for the next 7 days. Then I can be in the gym again and really be consistent in working out. I could be a more consistent person in what I'm doing, right? That literally can happen. And sometimes it doesn't take so much to do that. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot to do that. And so I just want to wrap this up, but that's really just my message, is that change is what is consistent and that you can literally reinvent who you are at any point in time. At any point in time. You could be 60 right now watching this video and being like, who am I today? What do I actually want to grow into? Who do I want to see myself as, and start doing it? It doesn't take a lot, but you actually putting in some action towards that. So I just want to leave you with that, Selfish Babe. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not, add me on YouTube at OlanikeeOsi, which is OlanikeeOsi, as well as on Instagram. This will definitely be uploaded to the Selfish Talk Podcast for audio listening very soon. Thank you so much for listening, and I love you. And if you do not have the Selfish Babe app, download it.